Hey everybody, Matt Clark here, and today we're going to focus on the strategy to growing your network by at least 1,000 contacts in the next 3 months. Now, you may or may not need 1,000 contacts for yourself personally, for your business, depending on your product or service that you sell. You may only need 4 people to make your business reach its goals. But here's the thing, your net worth equals your net work. So the better quality people that you have, the more people you reach out to, the better it's going to be for opportunities for you. Now, just because you have an existing client, ideal client, that doesn't necessarily mean those are the only people we want to reach out to. We also want to look for influencers. We want to look for people who are in industries who can help us get to where we want to go. You never know what opportunities are going to come up. So as an example for this, I reached out to a person on LinkedIn and it had absolutely nothing to do with my business. But what I didn't know was that she had a radio show. So she checked my profile out. She invited me onto a radio show, which was then actually broadcast in 60 countries worldwide. And as a result of that, I had someone reach out to me and ask me to be in her magazine, right? Now, from that, we then actually decided to create, I asked her, if she's got any connections in Africa because we want to start running some conferences there. And she came back to me in 3 days after that and said, well, we're going to put an event together and we're going to get 1,000 business owners in the room. So you never know what's going to happen. You never know what opportunities are going to come by. That's why having your sales profile, your profile page set up as a sales page is absolutely critical. So people know how you can help them and how they can help you. So you could also help you to reach out to journalists if you want to get in publications. It could help you reach out to influencers of the people who actually buy your products or services. So, sometimes you don't always reach out directly to them. Sometimes you can use influencers to do that for you, especially if they've got a bigger network than you and you are starting out. So those are great ways to actually leverage your LinkedIn account, leverage your network, and actually leverage what's going on here because, man, you don't have to do everything yourself. That's what the biggest mistake that people make, and it's just exhausting. So use the tools and strategies that are available to you, leverage people who have got what you're looking for, and just add value to them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you now the strategy that you can grow your network by at least 1,000 in the next 3 months. I've used this personally. I use this with my clients, and it generates results every single time. Are you excited? Great. Let's get going. So here's what you need to do. You go into your LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Under saved searches, go to one of your saved searches, whichever that looks like. So let's say it's accountants in the UK, directors in company over a year. So that's a saved search that I've done before, right? Now what it's going to tell me is the total results. Okay. Now, sometimes what you'll see as well is that if you've already gone into it, you'll see it has this 41 new, 39 new, 161 new, 14 new. So I just want to show you something else as well in case you get confused. So if we go 14 new results for accountants in Phoenix, Arizona, you'll see that there are only 14 available here. What you need to do to get the whole list is to click on View All Results. And as soon as that loads, we have got, drum roll, 297 total results, okay? So that's not exactly massive. So let's just go to one that I know has got a bunch of results in it. And then I specifically went for accountants in Phoenix, Arizona. So here we're looking for accountants in South Africa, Johannesburg, Durban, and Cape Town. So if I view all of the results here, it's going to give me 1,200 companies. Now, what happens is that LinkedIn doesn't actually allow you to reach out to more than 1,000 people at a time. So instead of doing shotgun blasts, what we're going to do is take it more focused, okay? Choose the people who you want to deal with and reach out to them directly. So now we've got this link over here. You're literally just going to follow the exact process that I showed you before. So what we do is we first go and tag them. And let's say we want to send them a connection request. Okay, so this is one of the people that I've identified as a connection request. So now that I've sent him the tag and I've got the connection request in there, what we're going to do is we're going to connect with him. Okay, so we go back to the connection mails that we've sent. Now this is really good because, you know, I've set the LinkedIn, the accountants for South Africa, and I'm going to copy this message that we've written here previously. So we're going to copy and paste that in there. And we're going to say, hi, Peter De Meyer. So we've got actually 300 characters. So let's bring that down. And let's just keep it simple. It looks like you and I have a few things in common, and I'd like to connect with you here on LinkedIn. Warmly, Matt. Let's go send invitation. Okay, so what it's telling me here is that we've already invited this member, he just hasn't responded yet. Perfect, not a problem. Use the exact same process that I've just shown you. So now what happens, obviously we can see he's already got the connection request, so this has already been done. But he hasn't confirmed it because I can see that he's still on second and he's not a first connection. So what we'll see as we go through this is people actually confirm, some people confirm immediately, and some people take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months to confirm. It really just depends on how often they go in. Don't worry about it. So the structure that we want to go with this is we want to go with 200 per week. Okay, so as an example, if you've got 1,200 total results, you want to do 200 a week. So if we break that down, that's 40 people a day, right? So if we do 40 people a day for 5 days, that's 200 people per week that are going to be connecting. Now, as you go through this, you're going to have a bunch of people connecting with you. Typically, what we see is about a 10 to 20% connection rate. Okay, and then from there we see a actual people interacting with you. Another, once people have connected, you'll get about a 50 to 70% conversion rate in terms of how they're going to talk to you. All right, so you're going to send them the second message and they're going to respond to that. So as an example, I mean, let's take a look here to see what we've got. So let's go search for leads. Just to give you some numbers here. And let's look for people who have got the tag connection request and that are in second connections, third connections, and everyone else. See, that's interesting. All right, 938 results. So let's look at how many are first connections. So there's 1,061 results. Sorry, let's take a look here. First connection's only 102 results. So that actually gives you, as I said, the right stats there. So we've got 1,061 results, 102 have actually confirmed, and we have got 938 people that haven't confirmed. So that gives you those results that I was speaking to you about. So out of all the connections you're going to do, you're going to have about 10 to 20% of people that are actually going to connect with you. So if you're doing 200 a week, you're talking 20 to 40 people who are actually going to connect with you. And then out of that, you're going to get between 50 and 80% of those people who actually respond to your messages. So that gives you an idea of kind of what you can expect just by doing all of this. Okay. So once people have then actually confirmed, then what you do is you go to, let's just search for leads. And let's go again for connection request. And let's go for relationship first connections. Let's search for those guys. So what this means is that these people they've all connected with me, and they have, we've sent them a connection request and they've connected with me. So the two things that I was looking for is the tag is connection request, and then that they're first, so they've said yes, right? So let's take a look here. So now what we do is we want to go and message these people. Now, all of these people they should have already been messaged. Okay, great. So she hasn't been messaged just yet. So we got here, click here to write your message. In fact, let's just double check this. So I'm going to go into her profile. I'm going to send a message. Okay, so it's the same thing. So she hasn't been sent a message. So very simple. Then what we do is we take this message over here that we've pre-written, we copy and we paste it, and we change out the name. Nkateko. All right, and then we just hit send. And that's it. So what this does is it actually changes your game from going to having, sending those emails which you actually have to pay for and you've got a limited amount of them, to sending a direct message to people that are already connected and are actually interested in talking to you. Because here's the thing, if you're going to send them an in-mail message and they're not going to respond, well, you've just wasted in-mail messages where you could have done it in a lot better way. Whereas if you send them a connection message beforehand and they actually connect with you, that means they want to talk to you based on what they've seen on your profile. So it's a much more targeted person that you're talking to, right? So that's how you connect with it. The strategy is really simple. 200 people a week, 40 people a day. You can literally set an hour aside each and every single day to do this. Now, if you are running your own company and you're the person in charge for the sales and marketing, you should be spending 2 to 3 hours per day on sales and marketing. If you have people that work for you, you can schedule this time for them and get them to work on your profile for an hour a day to get this done. This is really going to build your connections. I mean, I haven't done this in a while, and generally what I find is that once you get over a certain number of, 2,000 or 1,500, then your profile really starts growing organically and you start showing up in other people's searches. Especially if you start adding some value to people, then you come up as a search on other people's. So whenever people look at your profile, you then want to reach out to them. But we're going to cover that strategy on a separate one. So make sure that as you go through them, you tag people per where they are in your sales pipeline, so you can go and call that up and send them a message later on. Well, that's it for this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.